Hi there and welcome to this quick review of the DJI Osmo Pocket. Welcome to my channel and thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Matthias and in today's video we'll be looking at the DJI Osmo Pocket. Now first of all we need to say that the Osmo Pocket is not an action camera. It is much rather a tiny little camera on a handheld gimbal. And therefore it is quite interesting for me to find out whether or not this tiny little thing can replace, at least to a certain degree, my much larger setup with the DJI Ronin S and my GH5 on top of it. Now when it comes to the handling of the Osmo Pocket, I can honestly say that it is very straightforward. Now the Osmo Pocket comes in a nice little pouch, it fits nicely into your pocket, and this is actually the first camera, the first non-action camera that deserves the name Pocket, because it really does fit into your pocket just as it is. Now you can take it out of that little pouch and within like 2 seconds the camera is switched on and ready to shoot, and that's a very big plus. So if you see something as you're out and about, you can pull that camera out and start shooting within seconds. So that means that you won't really miss out on any opportunity shots that you might get. Now there's plenty of different settings that you can use with the Osmo Pocket. I'm not really going to go through all of the different settings here simply because there's plenty of videos out there already that do that. But I want to just go through a couple of them that I find most important. Now what I would do very first of all is go and activate the Pro mode. Once you've done that, it means that you get extra features on the Osmo Pocket itself. So you do not necessarily have to plug in your phone to access some extra features. You can do that right away. So that's probably the first thing that I would do. Then in the video section, you can actually choose a few different things. You can obviously choose your resolution, you can choose your frame rate. And one of the actually biggest pluses for the Osmo Pocket, I think, is that you can shoot in 4K 60p. So you can actually get really nice fluent footage by shooting in 60p 4K and then slowing it down to either 30 or 24p as you work with the footage in your timeline. So that way you are pretty much guaranteed with the gimbal that you're using here to get some nice and fluid motion in your shots. Obviously you've got other settings there as well, so you can shoot in 2.7K and also in 1080p. Now I found in my testings that the 4K footage looks really clean, really sharp, and it's just nice looking as it is coming out of the camera. Now you've also got the functionality of actually shooting slow motion in camera. If the 60p is not enough for you, you can shoot 4 times slow motion, again, which gives you just a nicer, more fluid looking video. So that's pretty nice. You can also do time lapses, and you can do different types of time lapses. You can do a normal time lapse, you can do your motion lapse, or you can even do your hyperlapse, like a moving time lapse. So all these options are there. I've tried the different time lapses. I have to say that they do work quite okay. There's no issue there really, but what I find is that the footage looks a little too saturated for me with the time-lapse modes. So you just need to pull back saturation and contrast in post-production, but that's not a big thing to do. For all my testings, I haven't really used any manual settings on the Osmo Pocket, simply because I didn't want to have to worry about setting everything before I shoot. I really wanted to test and see how the camera works as a, pull out of your pocket and shoot right away camera. The only thing that I did adjust when it comes to the settings is that I changed the color profile to de-cine-like from normal, so that the image is less saturated and less contrasty and just easier to grade in post for myself. Now looking at the experience I've had with the Osmo Pocket, and I've only used it a couple of times, I have to say that I am really impressed by this little camera. The quality of the footage that comes out of the camera is really good, I find, and it does actually do most of the shots, so you can achieve most of the shots with that little camera on the gimbal as you would be able to do on a larger gimbal like the Ronin S, for example. So most of my regular usual gimbal shots I'm able to pull off with the Osmo Pocket, which are the usual push in, the pull out, the circle around an object, the forward reveal and the backwards reveal. And you can also just turn the camera around, turn the Osmo Pocket around, put it close to the ground, and you'll be able to get some shots really nice and close to the ground. There's only a few negatives that I found using the Osmo Pocket. One is obviously that the screen that you've got on your Osmo Pocket is really tiny. You can't really see too much on that screen, but you've always got the option of attaching your mobile phone onto it and then using the Mimo app, the DJI Mimo app, to control the Pocket camera, and also to be able to use the screen of the phone as your screen to see what you're filming. The other thing that I noticed with the Osmo Pocket is that when you walk with it, as you would with a normal gimbal as well, you do like a follow shot. If you're not very careful and you just walk as you would normally, you do get a bit of that wobbling image out of your camera. And I think that's quite normal because this is such a small, tiny little camera that it's really hard not to get any wobbling on your images, getting it with that camera. And those are really the only two things worth mentioning with the Osmo Pocket on the negative side. Other than that, I think it is a fantastic, nice little camera, a very handy tool that you can use in a variety of different situations. But what is most valuable for me is that it is so tiny and you can just put it in your pocket and have it with you wherever you go. And it's always by your side, and whenever the opportunity comes to film something, you can just pull it out and you've got a stabilized little camera that works actually really, really well. So I'm definitely going to be using the Osmo Pocket a lot more in the future by just having it in my backpack at all times, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of opportunities to pull it out and grab a couple of shots with it. Now, last but not least, I want to talk about the most important accessory that you can get for your Osmo Pocket, and that would be a set of ND filters. Now, these ND filters from the company PGY Tech, they are actually really, really cool, I find. They work with a little magnet, so you can just attach them to the front of your Osmo Pocket and you've got your ND filter right on there. They can be very handy if you are using the manual mode more than what I did. I haven't really used it much, so that you can keep your shutter speed to the 180-degree rule that you want to have it at. These are really cool to have also for time lapses. So these ones, the ND filters, are the most important accessory in my opinion. Alright, and that's how we wrap up this video today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. One last thing, since this is a channel for underwater videography or towards underwater videography, and because the Osmo Pocket has impressed myself quite a bit, I'm actually going to try to get a underwater housing for the Osmo Pocket, and I will try and test it out here in our lakes to see how it performs underwater. I'm really curious to find out whether or not this is usable at all in an underwater environment. But I'll test that in the next couple of weeks and certainly let you know about my findings there as well. So there's not much more to say other than if you do have any questions regarding today's video, please put them down in the comments section. If you did enjoy the video, if you got something out of it, please do not forget to hit that like button. It really does mean a lot to me, and also consider subscribing to the channel so you're not missing out on any content that will be uploaded here in the future. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week.